What is going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back in here on PlayStation Source, and yesterday was State of Play. I know a lot of people are not too hot on it, this, that, and the third, and overall, I'll say it wasn't the greatest State of Play, but hey, we got a special thing here that is the main focus of this video that I want to bring to your attention, that yes, the Game of the Year 2021 Returnal did get some DLC. Let's go, turn me up. We're gonna go over this whole thing right here on the video, detail by detail and everything. But before we get to that, I'll show y'all a little clip of how excited I was. You can watch the full reaction on the State of Play stream, and I may post it on Twitter as well for fun, but here's a little glimpse at how excited I was to see Returnal Ascension get announced. Okay, motherfuckers. Okay, let's strap in.
Trapped.
Yes! Yes! So yeah, clearly you can see there, I love Returnal. I think the game is awesome, and to have any excuse to go back to it is definitely welcome in my opinion. And we'll be going into this on March 22nd is when the Returnal Ascension update will launch for free on PlayStation 5 with Returnal. So it's a free update, no payment required, and it's coming March 22nd very soon here, and we'll be able to get our hands on what this has to offer. So let's go over a few things here. First up, I will be going over all of these elements on the blog. I do have a link below in the description if you want to read the full blog for yourself. But going off here first, let's cover co-op in Returnal now with the Returnal Ascension update. So it is enabled by accessing the Chronosis portal near the crash landing site, as well as they say in other parts of the game as well. So with that particular sentence, I'm presuming and I think that you'll be able to enable co-op mode not only from the start of your run, right? But what I'm thinking is that maybe you'll also be able to enable it in the second crash landing site that you get when you go into biomes 4, 5, and 6 once you cross that biome 3 boss. So I think that that's what they're talking about there. We'll be able to enable it in that section of the game as well, or maybe you can enable it in just more places and maybe it's right before every boss. Maybe that's what they're talking about. We'll have to see when the full update comes out, but you'll be able to host or join a public cycle or make a private cycle as well for your friends. So you'll be able to join one that's in progress, or you can host one for any random player to come in, or you can do a private cycle with your friends as well. So the in-world reason for how there is 2 Selines is that your other Selene that you are playing with in co-op is another Selene from another timeline. They definitely want to make that very clear in the blog, and I love when games have an in-world reason as to why there are gameplay elements in their game. I love that, what I'm saying? So cool that that is there as well. If players get too far apart from each other, they will be tethered back to each other to incentivize cooperative gameplay, and they say here for the in-world explanation, the tying of each other's fates. This, I hope that it's not like a crazy amount. Like, I wish it was like, hey, let's just both explore this biome, right? Because we'll know later on in this readout that the friend that joins you, if you host, they can't make any story progression in terms of the actual game itself, and they can only go out and get xenoglyphs and different logs and stuff like that. So it would be nice if you were able to hopefully freely explore the biome itself, but it doesn't seem like that's the case here. It seems like you will be tethered together more closely, which I don't love, but we'll see how it all plays out, what I'm saying? But I get that they want to incentivize cooperative gameplay and really make it feel like you two are in the same predicament together. I totally get that, right? And if a player goes down in Returnal, you can revive the down player as well, but it's very risky and time consuming as well. Definitely makes sense, and I can definitely see there being a lot of instances where it may be easier to just take out the boss that killed your friend instead of reviving your friend right now, what I'm saying? So I definitely can see that happening in Returnal. Now, like we said before, progression is tied to the host in terms of advancing through the game. However, players that join in sessions can still find logs and xenoglyphs along with growing their scout rank. So this, I want to know exactly how it works. So I think what this is saying is that if you have 2 brand new players that have never played Returnal before, right? Like they just bought the game, now they can play in co-op. The one that hosts this cycle that they're both in is the one that will get access to the different biomes when they go offline and leave that co-op session. But the one that joins, I think, think won't have access to those new biomes, and it's as if they never played those biomes before, but that player can get logs and xenoglyphs and stuff like that. So it's very confusing, kind of. I don't like this either, you know what I'm saying? And I think that we will have to see the full ramifications of what that actually means. But I would say, just as an advice, as the way this is being worded here, if you are a veteran of Returnal, if you played it last year and you have a friend that is wanting to play Returnal with co-op, I think you'll want to have him be the host or her be the host, right? The one that has not played Returnal yet, and you be that side player that joins in. That way they can progress their story in ways that you already did solo, if that makes sense, you know what I'm saying? But then at the end of the trailer, we get this interesting little sentence that honestly I don't like either. It says the Tower of Sisyphus house sequences and daily challenges are not available in co-op mode. So this is interesting, right? So does this mean that the house sequences are completely removed from co-op mode? Is that what that means? Because then, like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of odd, because like that is a part of the integral experience of Returnal. And to not have that in co-op, it's more of just like, I guess you're just going through the campaign, you know, in a very just gameplay focused way, which is fine, I guess. But I figure that if you want to do a co-op mode, you would want both players to experience the narrative side of Returnal as well. But we'll see how that all pans out, you know what I'm saying? But also, what I don't like as well is that the Tower of Sisyphus that we will go over next does not have co-op mode at all in it as well. So that one is a huge bummer as well, because I feel like it would have been so fun to go through the tower and really, you know, rank up a very high multiplier and high score with a friend in the Tower of Sisyphus. But it looks like that will be only single player as well. So overall, I mean, the co-op is essentially the main campaign. You get your 6 biomes, right, which is definitely a lot to run through with a friend. Granted, you'll be able to further the story of one of the players in that co-op mode, the host. So overall, you know, not the best way to do co-op, I feel like, but hey, it's here. It's free, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But let's go over to the Tower of Sisyphus here. This is essentially the endless mode, where you are fighting your way up the endless tower. As it gets harder and harder, the more you advance up the levels. And so the naming scheme from this, right? Who is Sisyphus? I did a little bit of Googling here, and it is named after the tragic story of Sisyphus, where he was, quote, a figure from Greek mythology who, as king of Corinth, became infamous for his general trickery and twice cheating death. He ultimately got his comeuppance when Zeus dealt him the eternal punishment of forever rolling a boulder up a hill in the depths of Hades. And so that is kind of, you know, definitely in line with him having to push his boulder forever. You will go up this tower forever. Like, there is no end to this tower. There is no beating this. This is endless mode. It's just you trying to see how far you can make it up the tower. And so each phase in the tower will end with an encounter with Algos, which I think is the new boss in this update, that is only in the tower, right? And this boss also gets harder and harder as you progress as well. So very curious to see how they're going to evolve this boss as you progress through this tower, and how it's going to be harder and harder. Very curious to see that. But what is ultimately my favorite part of this update, right, is that the Tower of Sisyphus is unlike the main game. The tower has a score to chase. I'm gonna read straight here from the blog. We say here, quote, you can track your progress and highest score on the leaderboard and compete against your friends and foes for the highest rank. Much like our previous arcade-inspired titles, you will also have a score multiplier. Keeping this up and increasing it will be the key to racking up the highest possible scores. Your multiplier will deplete if you get hit or if you don't deal damage for a while, so you'll need to be constantly dancing on the knife's edge to ensure you maintain strong forward momentum. While there are secrets and optional routes to take, the tower is intended to be Returnal distilled into an action experience where the emphasis is on survival, skill, and focus progression. This is really cool, you know what I'm saying? Like, them having Returnal be essentially what their games used to be in terms of just definitely being a score chaser, multiplier chasing, arcade type style of game like Resogun, which I loved back in the day. They essentially made the Tower of Sisyphus to kind of be that, right? And and that is such a cool way to give homage to what the games used to be. And it really, is kind of just underlining like what Returnal still was last year, right? Like it still had that arcade feel, but now to have it with, you chasing a high score and leaderboards and all that, like it truly is the kind of mode and game that Housemarque used to make back in the day. So that's really cool to see that they are really giving that type of, lineage to Returnal as well. So lastly here, they do confirm that there are new items and new narrative threads that are also in the tower to give more context to the main game story and Celine's haunting past with her state of mind as well. So that's really cool as well to get more context and more story around Celine. Obviously, the story is kind of very shrouded in mystery and all that and very obscure in Returnal, but cool that we are getting more with the Tower of Sisyphus. So overall, guys, I am very excited for more Returnal. I love this game so much, and any excuse to go back to it is an excuse I am down for, you know what I'm saying? Even though I don't love some of the co-op stuff, right? I wish that co-op was in the tower as well, and some differences with the house sequences that won't be in co-op mode and all that. That is kind of iffy to me, but overall, I will be definitely in that tower, definitely seeing how far I can go with Returnal. So let me know down below, guys, are you going to jump into Returnal this month on March 22nd? How are you feeling about it? Do you like this update? Do you hate this update? Is there something that you want them to add to Returnal? Let me know all those thoughts down in the comments below, and make sure also while you are down there, check out that description. You can find links to our Discord, our Twitter, and our Anchor link that you can listen to our long form content and podcast format. Those of course being, of course, Road to Forbidden West, which is coming up very shortly. We are going to be back next week, unfortunately. We need some more time to play the game, and definitely be there for our final thoughts on Horizon Forbidden West, spoiler cast, review, all that great stuff. Like the video if you enjoyed it, as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with the latest and greatest in PlayStation. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.